Is math invented or discovered?
Well, it's okay.
And
It's
forgive me
both.
for asking that
No,
question.
no, it's a super common question. Let's do an example rather than like philosophizing. Okay, so one of the first substantive theorems that students learn in school is the Pythagorean theorem. So at some point, whether or not we've forgotten since then, many of us will have come across that if you have a right triangle and you label the two shorter sides A and B, and then the longer side C, no matter what right triangle you have, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's a cool fact. It's not obvious that it should be true. It's useful. It lets you make sorts of measurements, and it's the first one you meet that it doesn't just like fall out of definitions. It's interesting and it's all that. Now, if you ask like, is that fact invented or discovered? Initially, it feels like, well, it's discovered for sure. You go out into the world, you see right triangles, you kind of you can measure them.
It's waiting there for you to see it and notice
It's
it.
waiting for you to see it. But then you get a little further in math, and then you start to ask questions like, what is space? What is, three-dimensional space, two-dimensional space, and things like this. And then one of the ways that mathematically you're defining two-dimensional space is rather than saying, oh, it's this pre-existing thing and we can put a coordinate system on it, a lot of math will start from the coordinates themselves and saying it's all pairs of real numbers. So rather than saying like, oh, there's this plane out in existence, and then you put some like axes and you say, this is your x coordinate, this is your y coordinate to get to a point on space. You say, rather than all the tricky philosophical questions about what is a plane and whatnot, we just say a plane is all pairs of real numbers. That's what it is. And then you can do math forward. You can like make proofs and whatnot. But then when you say what's the distance between 2 points, and you have to assign what they call a metric to the space, a way of telling distances, you sort of make the Pythagorean theorem true by writ. You define a metric that makes it true. And there's